Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we are going to be watching a video conversation between Chris Williamson and Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson is going to be telling us why it is bad to be a deep thinker, the difficulties of being a deep thinker. Jordan Peterson is someone who's very smart, but he's also someone who's very, very depressed naturally in life. He focuses too much on death. He focuses too much on the hardships of life. He's not able to muster up joy and enthusiasm for life. It is your perception. You have to look at the joyful things and do the right things. Um, and try to live a good life. To live a good life here on Royal Instinct, what I do is I encourage you to find your royal blood lineage, that you are a king within yourself, that you have to rise to the top and build a kingdom. Okay, I'm not just, this isn't some feel good shit. Be like, oh yeah, everybody's a king. It's like, not everybody's a king. But if you are a king and if you want to take on the challenge of building a kingdom, rise to the top. That is when you live life the best. That is when you have the best things in the world, a luxurious life, and that's when you have the most fun. Jordan Peterson is somebody who's come into money, but he hasn't changed his mentality. He's still very combative, um nihilistic, possibly, definitely pessimistic person. Everything is a fight with him, and that's why he suffers from health issues, mental health issues. Even his body is attacking him, which, he has an autoimmune disease. And great, he's on carnivore diet, which helps, but he doesn't seem like a very happy person. But let's get into this. Let's see what he has to say.
One of the things that I've realized is that people that are self-reflective, that rely on cerebral horsepower, that pay attention, that think in a detailed way, the more nuanced that your thinking is, the fewer people are going to be like you, which makes you feel more alone. How do you think people can overcome this?
Oh, the dramatic pause. So the deeper of a thinker you are, the more you are alone. Not necessarily. It's just that you have to find people who have similar views as you. Okay, like you still need community. Okay, and what is a community? It's a group of people who communally used to be that community worship a god, right? If you're Christian and I'm Christian and she's Christian, then we all come together, we pray, we all have a similar aim, we're all moving the same direction, right? If you're a deep thinker, and it depends what you're thinking about. If all you're doing is thinking about yourself, then you're literally thinking about yourself, and it's all consuming, and it's literally a self worship, and that is not good for the community. Yeah, like focusing on the self isn't great for community. Which is why most people are feeling alone while there is loneliness in the world. It's like you have to focus above yourself, okay? And by establishing a kingdom, you're literally, it's not just to reap the benefits of being a king, which is all fun and great. You get luxurious lifestyle. You get to be center of attention. All the benefits that come along with being a king. However, you're also establishing a kingdom, and that takes a lot of responsibility. That you need a lot of foresight. You need to be a great leader to look after your citizens. Okay, the people within your kingdom. Because if you have a kingdom without people, it is very weak because you have no one to defend your kingdom with. Do you get what I mean? So it is important to be a deep thinker, but think above yourself sometimes as well. Do you go? I mean, you can't just constantly focus. It is about establishing kingdom, and you'll be the leader of the kingdom, but there will be citizens that you have to think about and look after.
Well, I would say that hasn't been my experience exactly. Because as I started to make my thoughts more public, they seem to appeal to more and more people.
Yeah. So, and why was he able to do that? Because he was producing content which made him famous. Okay. So, Jordan Peterson is establishing his kingdom. He is writing his own religion, the Jordan Peterson religion. He has was it 12 rules for life, 12 steps to life, which is his Bible and how to achieve that. But there's also, you have to look at the man that you have standing before you, and he looks very depressed. He says it's not his experience, but he does seem trapped within his own body, his own mind. He's literally built a life for himself where he is miserable 24/7.
And so I don't know if that's a threshold phenomena, because maybe it is. As you start to become specialized as a scientist, in some sense, your vision narrows and narrows, although it gets more high resolution at the level that you're operating. But you kind of pass through a needle, let's say, out the other side where the thing you're studying starts to become everything again.
Yeah, just notice his hand movements as Jordan Peterson speaking. He's much more a showman than he is an intellectual. Do you get what I mean? Like he knows a few smart things, but there's lots of people in the world who know a lot of smart things. But what he does well is he's able to dress himself well. He speaks very clearly, concisely, and he throws in a lot of arm actions, and it becomes very mesmerizing and captivating for his audience. Okay, again, it doesn't take much to become a subject matter expert. You just need to know a few things. And be able to become an effective communicator, which Jordan Peterson has down at the moment.
And so maybe that's that developmental progression.
Very dramatic speaking. Like if you compare him to Chris, the pauses really add. Like he's thinking deeply right now. So people put more weight on it. Oh my god, like he's thinking in real time. Like whatever he says, it's gonna be so fucking profound that comes out of his mouth.
The more
specialization and then
generalization.
I mean, you saw that, right? Like he's like, do you get what I mean? Like you can't just why not keep it an even flow? He's like, and it's and that's what it takes to put people in a trance. It's like people are calling out for leadership. People are calling out for guidance. You yourself probably at some stage or another that needed somebody to provide leadership, to provide guidance to you. But nobody ever came. Okay. But this is your wake up call. This is your call to adventure. I'm telling you to become the leader that you always needed, because there's plenty of people in the world who need a leader, who need guidance, who need somebody to be in charge. And if you have the balls to do it, if you have the balls to go out there on a limb into the over the threshold, into uncharted territory, into the danger zone, if you like, and survive, you will be crowned a king. Okay. And then that's when you live the best life, by the way. Okay. You overcome all your fears, you grow as a confident person. I will teach you how to become a charismatic leader and a charismatic communicator, and you will be seen as a king.
Again. Yeah, I think that you might be right there. The deeper into the breach thing, the show that I went to go and see you do in Manchester.
You can see Chris Williams just in trance right now. He's trying to snap out of it and trying to be able to speak, but he'd rather just listen there to the old wizard Jordan Peterson and see what he has to say.
In 2017 or 18, someone asked a question about the depth of my consciousness causes me to suffer, and you said you take more of the thing that poisons you until you turn it into a tonic that girdles the world around you. And I think that this is something you...
I mean, even just those words that Jordan Peterson said, obviously he's quoting him there, but the tonic that girdles the world, it's very hocus pocus, magical potions shit. Do you get what I mean? So Jordan Peterson is a caricature of a wizard, Gandalf, if you like. He is able to do it because you have to understand this. It's like we grew up on fairy tales. We grew up on Disney, all right? So if we see a fairy princess, if we see a wizard, if we see an evil witch, like we this is how people typecast people. Do you get what I mean? So Jordan Peterson is presenting himself to be this wizard, all-knowing, encompassing Moses figure that is leading people to a better future, which is why Chris Williamson needs him. He needs him to be his leader. He wants to worship at the feet of Jordan Peterson. And you can see that he is just enamored and confused in his presence. Do you get what I mean? And he's ready to surrender and just let Jordan Peterson riff for the rest of the episode.
See here as well that when you start to think differently, when you start to consider the way that you're living your life in a more detailed, higher resolution, more unique, more nuanced.
He's trying to mimic Jordan Peterson now, because he's like, his brain is telling him like oh, you're conceding you're surrendering to this person right now. You're submitting to this person, and his brain's just trying to fight it, which is why it's also adding dramatic pauses.
Way, you will probably receive pushback, especially, speaking from personal experience, in normal working class towns, people born, live, die in these places, it's insular. There isn't a huge culture of, especially in the UK, tall poppy syndrome is a huge problem. The biggest difference that I've noticed actually between American people and English people is that American children are told that they can be anything that they want to be. They're told that they have blue sky vision, they can achieve whatever they want. And that gives them a lot of confidence.
That's also what was kind of destroying this generation of children. It's like if you get told you can be anything, but nothing has meaning, right? If male and female don't have meaning, then what the fuck do you be, right? You can be anything you want, but nothing means anything, right? It's all about meaning. You have to construct meaning in your life. You have to construct meaning for yourself, and your meaning should be to build a kingdom, to rise to the top, to be seen as a king, to live a life of luxury, and you have to work very hard at it. And it's not actually hard work; it's more consistent work that you have to achieve. Okay, like because anyone can fucking work hard. Like, you can go work in a coal mine, right? If they exist still. You get what I mean? Like go to Africa and mine for minerals for the old iPhone. Do you get what I mean? No, you have to work consistently and repetitively to get your business running in a way that it starts self-producing goods and money back to you. Because basically, if you make a video, you post it online, it can get you views, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now. Do you get what I mean? And you so you have to be consistently working hard at the correct things.
When us Brits, stuffy, stiff upper lip Brits see Americans on
I mean, he's saying, oh, the Brits are like this and the Americans are like that, but he's a Brit, right? But then he's also taking the piss out of himself, which is now he's playing up to the caricature of being a self-deprecating Englishman, right? It's like, nah, just look, like this guy got onto a TV show, right? So he's playing above average levels, and then made a podcast, quite a big podcast, in the world. He's doing much better than people than so many people in the world, and then he's still trying to appeal to everyday British people, saying, "Look, I haven't changed yet." But then he's also self-criticizing himself for the thing that he's actually doing.
TV. It sounds like everyone's had media training because everybody's just so enthused about whatever it is, even if it's a 18-car pileup. And then
I mean, the fact that he used an 18-car pileup, saying people get enthusiastic over it, like maybe this notion that you can be anything is a symptom of mental illness, and there's many mentally ill people in the world right now. More people than ever are depressed. More people than ever are lonely. Schizophrenia is on the rise, ADHD is on the rise, autism's on the rise, people are self-diagnosing, and really it comes to an underlying issue that there is a lack of community, that people don't really have the means to handle life by themselves because they aren't able to share and gain experience from other people. Okay, people now, instead of turning to the friends, turning to the elders, turning to their community, turn to YouTube, and they literally and then we get flooded with self-help advice, by the way. How many more videos do you need to watch that say oh, you need to 5 methods of how to stop procrastinating, stop being lazy, you need discipline, not motivation. Okay. Like these videos have been floating around on the internet for at least the last decade, if not more. Books have been published on those topics for the last 30, 40 years, really. Okay. And nothing's really changed. Okay, so we are trying to find solutions to a problem that really is caused by maybe an underlying issue of mental illness. Maybe people aren't able to grasp a sense of reality for themselves. They aren't really able to navigate it because they have no one to turn to, right? So loneliness might be the cause for all these other issues that Chris Williamson is trying to explain.
equivalent in the UK is that deviating from the norm is very, very, very quick.
By the way, Chris Williamson is talking about his childhood in the UK. So he grew up. I think it's Newcastle he grew up in, but in the 90s, right? Like children today are very Americanized. So even children today are very, very similar, all globally as well. Everybody's interconnected and living the American dream because that is the dominant force of media running the world.
Mocked. And
there's a lot of that in Canada too.
Tall poppy syndrome. It's a big deal. Now,
I mean, Chris, I mean, you don't want to feel sorry for a multi-millionaire, but it's like literally like you can see how wounded this guy is. It's like, oh, when I was young, I wanted to be something special, but I wanted to be a tall poppy, but then they cut me down, and I was just a small poppy. Well, mate, you made it. You've been on a Joe Rogan show. You're multi-millionaire. You're making a lot of money, a lot of dough. So why are you still haven't let go of the past? Okay. Because he doesn't see himself as a king. You need to see yourself as a king. You need to act of royal descent. You need to act of royal blood. Every man's duty to chase and build a kingdom, to defeat his enemies, to conquer lands and the worlds. And that's when you get all the praise that you ever seek for, right? Like if Chris Williamson had the mentality to become a king, then he wouldn't be sitting there in front of a wizard, Jordan Peterson, asking for, or how do I build self-esteem? How do I forgive myself? How do I become confident?
The Japanese have that saying too, except it's
great. The UK, Japanese, and Canadians are fucked.
The nail that sticks up above all the rest is the first one to be struck down by the hammer.
They love a good metaphor. Tall poppy syndrome, right? The tall nail is like, all right, like become tougher. Yeah, if the hammer hits you, right, like fucking bounce back. You know what I mean? Like push back at it, right? Don't be a fucking pussy all your life, Jordan.
And there's some truth in that too. There's some truth in that, but some and all are very different words.
When you roll the clock,
that nothing was said there. Like, literally, they're literally just sitting there, right? Just literally just tossing each other. They're jerking each other off. Like that's all they're doing. It's like, well done, Jordan. Well done, Chris. We made it. We were tall poppies, and we pushed back, and now we're sitting here because Joe Rogan made us famous. Do you get what I mean? So it's like literally, it's just a jerking contest at this point.
Forward, what you end up with is American children that then become adults who look around at the world and say, well, hang on, this wasn't what I was promised. I was told that.
Right. So he literally just complained about, American children having this, great enthusiasm for life, that they can be anything. And then they grow up and then they're like very entitled. They are very angry that what they were promised wasn't given to them. And then UK children, from his point of view, I disagree, but from UK children who are much more rooted in reality, they are the short poppies, as he said, who are much more rooted in reality, that when they grow up, then they are more easily acclimatized to the realities of the world. So it is a balancing act. You don't want to fucking restrict the child, but at the same time, do you know what I mean? Like show him what the fucking world looks like. Be creative. Allowed to be yourself, to be creative, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna go to the fucking moon, or I don't know, like become a famous actor, which is what most people want to do, right? But you need that little arrogance about you, that you are a king, that you are of royal descent, that you can build a kingdom, right? But then at the same time, it doesn't come easy. You have to work at it. You have to be consistent. And here on Raw Instinct, I help my clients achieve that. I help them become charismatic communicators. I help them come up with a plan of how they can become 24-hour content creating machines, and how they can rise to the top and be seen as kings. Okay, don't end up like Chris. Even once you have success, you'll be on your own fucking podcast crying about the problems that you faced in life. I think this is the second video in a row now that the host of the podcast starts treating their show as a therapy session.
I could be anything that I wanted to be. I was told that I could have anything that I wanted to have.
There's a difference between you can earn everything that is earnable and you deserve everything there is.
Yeah, earning and deserving. Okay. You are a king. You have the ability to rise to the top and earn everything that is earnable because only because you in your head believe that you deserve it, right? That you deserve the opportunity to put in the work to get everything that you want and need. And I think that's a good place to end it there. If you believe that you deserve, if you want the ability to earn everything that the world has to offer, then you need to start producing content. It's the last job left on Earth. AI will displace most of humanity. AI will displace most people. Most people will not be able to earn a living very, very soon. And you might think, oh, I can never be as successful as Jordan Peterson. I can never be as successful as Chris Williamson. These people have self-esteem issues, man. Like, Jordan Peterson's unhappy 50, 60-year-old man who has mental issues, and Chris Williamson is he's still in that perpetual childhood state where he hasn't grown up. Basically, he's still hurt the fact that when he was little, his mum said that he can't be everything that he dreams to be. Okay, and for all the hurt that was caused in his childhood, he has to really look back and analyze and be like, Joe, that was the best thing that could have happened to me, and that is why he is at the top in the podcasting game. That is it for today. Thank you very much. If you want to work with me, reach out. Let's build your kingdom. Let's build my kingdom. For everybody else, that is it. I will see you later.